Hello, today we're going to be going over hogging strategies at Town Hall 9, specifically shattered hogs with a surgical hog deployment, also without pulling the CC. We're going to be raging through the CC with the dragons and loons that we so often see in CCs today. It just doesn't make sense to spend 45 seconds to a minute dragging a loon all the way to the corner to kill it. And so the game's adapting, you always got to adapt, and I think I found that using a rage and powering through the CC troops, similar to a go weep or go wee wee strategy, is going to save you a lot of time and be just as efficient. So you can see here we're a new clan, where we used to be in a different higher level clan, difference of opinions on how to run things, so we split ways. Doing good so far. We've had a number of perfect wars. We would have had more if I hadn't screwed up a few attacks, but so be it. Anyways, we're going to look at two attacks I did recently on our last perfect war. I'll try not to bore you too much stopping these. Again, it's a decent Town Hall 9, mid Town Hall 9. It's got some max defenses, some not. We've got the Archer Queen. She's in the core. Obviously, you look at the Archer Queen and you say to yourself, is it one golem or two? She's in the core, so here you could get away with one, but the way that we're going to be killing the CC troops, where we're not doing a CC pull to the corner, I'm taking two golems because I want to tank both these expos and I want to be able to withstand the damage from the dragon. This is a cleanup attack. I do know there's a dragon and a loon in there, but even if I didn't know, it's a pretty safe attack to go this way. So you'll see I dropped two golems on these north archer towers. I know there's a giant bomb you'll see come up here. I dropped one wall breaker in to test for another bomb, and then two behind it. If you don't know what's there, drop one wall breaker, then two behind it, because if you drop all three at once and there's a small bomb there, you could die. Actually, you'll see there's a small bomb there that my golem triggers I didn't see in the scouting, and I got a little lucky, but that worked out fine. So anyways, we're doing two golems, shattered is two golems, cold-blooded is one golem. We're doing two golems in, we've got two witches, your Arch Queen, Barb Queen, and 5 wizards coming in here. We'll just get this started. The number one thing on these things is to get your funnel straight. Just like in any go wipe or go wee wee attack, if you don't create your funnel and you got troops wandering around the edges taking a walk, you're not going to be happy with the results. So you see I've got my, and this takes time. You have to map out exactly where you're going to drop your wizards. It's not like you just run in here and you randomly place them. You have to map out where your wizards need to be placed before you go. Every troop you should know literally to the tile what you're going to drop it on if you want to be successful at Town Hall 9 with 3-star strategies. So see on the left I've got a wizard taking out the elixir storage and an army camp. On the right I've got the army camp and the elixir pump going down. The two golems in, the wall breakers, and then I'm dropping the kitchen sink, the witches, the wizard, the Barb King, the Archer Queen from the north. And I know that they're going to go into this north portion here. I'll just play this through this next part. You'll see I drop my jump spell down. The jump spell, I place it right over this compartment there where we know what Tesla is, because I want my golems to go into those two side compartments, but I also want them to get into the core and start tanking for those expos. And then lastly, you'll see the dragon and the loon come out, and you'll see once the dragon and loons come out, you're going to place your poison spell, but then also a rage. The only thing I want to point out here is how bad the rage spell is placed. Obviously, it should go further south so that the troops can employ the rage as they work their way into the core. This is 4 or 5 tiles too high. Obviously, you want it to be over your Archer Queen so that she can hit those dragon and the loon quickly. So don't miss your Archer Queen. I mean, it's better to be on her than to miss her, but it should just be a little bit more south. And now the CC, the Archer Queen is down. I've got my golems jumped into the area where they're tanking for both expos. I've got the witches and the wizard funneled in to the core, which is very critical. And the CC troops are about to be dead. So I'm moving on. I'm not paying attention to this area anymore. That part of the attack is done. You'll see on the left here, I'm dropping a giant. So surgical hog, sometimes surgical hog means by definition surgically placing 2 or 3 or 4 hogs per defense. Some people mean surgical hogs where you drop a giant in front of the hogs and it tanks for the defenses. It can be done either with giants tanking or without giants tanking. Surgical just literally means the hog deployment. Whether or not you use giants to tank depends on how many defenses it's going to soak up damage from. If there's just 1 point defense, it's not worth the 5 troop spots to put a giant down to tank. But here I've got 2 archer towers and a wizard tower that I'm going to be tanking, so 5 troop spots to soak up damage from 3 defenses is well worth it. You'll see the hogs come in behind him. I'm going to use a heal here. It's going to go over the Tesla that you just see popping up there. It's going to go over this entire west corner. So the hogs that I'm dropping in that region are going to be full health. And then you'll see later on, I'm going to be dropping a heal here by this gold mine. This giant is going to tank for the 2 cannons and the archer tower again. The point defenses are what you're mainly concerned about in hog attacks, and specifically in any war attacks. Wizard towers and mortars, they really don't mean much in war. Their damage per second is so low. They're great against barge attacks and farming, but in war, the point defenses are your only real concern. Don't worry about wizard towers. So we're tanking the cannons and the archer tower with the giant. We're dropping hogs in behind him, and again, there's another Tesla there. Obviously, we're going to heal over this whole south corner. All these hogs are going to be at full health. There is a double giant bomb here between the CC and the Barb Queen altar. It's a poor giant bomb, double giant bomb. It's not between 2 defenses. My hogs aren't forced to run across it. My hogs actually do run across it, but because I kept my hogs alive and full health here with a heal and here with a heal, when they run across it, they're full health. It gets them to low health, but they're just fine. Again, and then you'll see one more giant on the east corner, again tanking for the point defenses. You'll see there's a giant here to the west of this elixir storage. I run 1 hog across it initially to trigger that, and then come back to this with more hogs. So we'll let this play out here. Again, so just to summarize, 2 golems in, we kept our witches and our archer queen alive, very important. They're now working on cleanup. We've got a number of hogs still alive. We've got another minute even, I think, here. And this is just a standard cleanup. I'll go ahead and hit fast forward and we'll do one more quick attack. Okay, one more of these. It just happened to be that these bases were both really well built for this attack. I'm not saying, as Jake from One Hive says, it's not a perfect attack. It's not going to beat every base you see, but I do think it's a more forgiving attack, and the time you save not having to draw a loon all the way to the outside edge is really key. So this base, we've got, oddly, a cannon here and a cannon here. Anytime you can trade a point defense for, one loon or one giant, one loon or one hog, that's a great trade. Even if it takes two of those troops, like on the south cannon, you'll see I'll use a loon and a hog. This is, again, another cleanup. I know that there's a giant bomb to the right of the south cannon, so I specifically dropped a hog there to make sure I pre-trigger it. You'll see I screw up. I dropped the loon first, but I didn't wait for the loon to get far enough ahead of the hog, and the archer towers started targeting the hog, and I actually didn't take out this cannon, which was a waste of 10 troop spots. But if I had done it right, 10 troop spots for one point defense like that is a good trade. Here, I'll pause it here. I've got 2 golems. They're coming in. I dropped them right by the point defenses of the archer towers, knowing that they'll walk towards the cannon. I wanted them to walk towards the cannon so that later on I can put a jump on the expo. You'll see that these air defenses are exposed. I didn't really want the golems to go from the cannon to the air defense. I want them to go from the cannon to the expo and then jump into the core there. One of them did, one of them didn't, which is fine. Anyways, I dropped the golems in front of the archer towers, and then you'll see I drop one wizard right behind the golems to take out these archer towers while the golems are tanking for them. Again, that keeps my CC kill squad and my archer quill squad safe as they come in here for the kill. So here we've got the west cannon is down, the south cannon, you can see I screwed up. The hog does run forward and take out the giant bomb there. The cannon stayed alive though. On the east side we've got the 2 golems heading toward where we're going to drop our jump spell into the archer queen, and we've got our witches, Archer Queen, Barb King down. We've got them funneled. If you don't get your funnel down, you're not going to be happy with the results. You've got to funnel them to where you want them to go. It's the most critical thing about this attack. So you see we've got our jumping in the Archer Queen, the Barb King aggroed onto the Archer Queen. She's dead easy. We've got a poison on the Loon and the Dragon, and then we've got 5 wizards, 2 witches, and even though my Archer Queen decided to flake out and shoot at some random buildings, the taking down the Dragon was no problem. Once you get 5 wizards, a couple witches, and the Golem tanking for the Dragon anyways, you rage those troops, they're going to take out the Dragon easy, and you just saved yourself 45 seconds. So you see here, I'm going to start the hogs in on the southeast. The archer tower here is already targeted on something else, so I'm not worried about tanking for them. Actually, that's a lie. The archer tower is not targeted on something else. I'm just dropping hogs. You'll see I'll play it through here. I'm going to drop a hog here. I'm going to tank for these 2 archer towers. Surgically drop hogs on each of these archer towers, which will then work their way through. We're going to use 2 heals, 1 in the core. I know there's giant bombs here between the Wiz towers and an Inferno, so we're going to heal through that. And then there's a giant bomb here, which I'm a little late for in my heal, but it actually worked out just fine. And then at the end, more hogs here. And it's pretty simple, and really this attack I think was all of 2 minutes or 2 minutes 20 seconds. Pretty quick stuff. So that's your Surgical Hog, Shattered, Golem, Town Hall 9, Go-Ho approach without a CC pull, using a Rage instead of pulling them to the corner to save you 45 seconds. Jump spell, if you can get away without a jump spell and use wall breakers, then great. If you need the jump spell, then use it. To me, this seems a pretty forgiving strategy at Town Hall 9. The 2 golems, especially if you can get them into the core, tanking for the expos is critical. If your golems are not going to be tanking the expos, try to get away with just 1 golem. But hopefully that helps you be a better clasher and enjoy the game more. And thank you for watching.